told T.I. he should have kicked that boy when last year. If T.I. would have kicked that boy last year, that boy wouldn't have had to jack him up to delinquent, criminal-minded boy. Then you up and you failing as a father. Tips.
Welcome back to BuzzBuster. I'm glad you're here. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss daily videos. Charleston White just lit the internet on fire after calling out King Harris for stepping at 50 Cent with clear disrespect. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. White didn't ride with the younger voice at all. Instead, he made it crystal clear he's backing 50 Cent on this one. And now King Harris is catching criticism from every direction online. In this video, we're breaking down everything Charleston White said about King Harris and why this situation exploded so quickly. What started as a few comments has now dragged an old rap rivalry back into the spotlight. A feud that people thought had cooled off years ago is suddenly trending again. And now, a younger voice has jumped straight into the middle of it. The question people keep asking is simple, but messy. What happens when someone's son jumps into a decades-old hip-hop rivalry while trying to defend his mother and brings up the name of a woman who has already passed away? That exact situation unfolded on February 20th, 2026, and the internet reacted instantly.
King is behaving and going on with these kind of actions and inactions and traits and characteristics.
But to understand why this moment blew up the way it did, you have to look at the history behind it, because like many hip-hop conflicts, this tension didn't just appear overnight. The friction between 50 Cent and T.I. goes all the way back to 2007. During an interview on Hot 97 that year, 50 openly questioned anyone claiming the title of king in hip-hop. Everybody listening knew exactly who that comment was aimed at. T.I. had proudly taken the title King of the South after dropping his 2006 album, King. And when speaking with Angie Martinez, 50 pushed the conversation even further with a sharp question. Who really decides that title, the fans or the rapper? T.I. clearly took that comment seriously. Later that same year, when 50 showed up at T.I.'s Screamfest stage alongside Jay-Z and Kanye West, the tension suddenly had faces attached to it.
Delinquent, criminal-minded boy, then you up and you failing as a father. Tips.
This wasn't just talk anymore. People could feel the rivalry building. Then things got even heavier in 2008. T.I.'s federal gun case ended with a 1-year sentence, even though he had originally been facing much serious time. Around that same period, 50 Cent jumped onto G-Unit's track and dropped the line. "You so tough rapping about the math not adding up, 10 machine guns and 12. Those bars had people talking everywhere. The lyrics echoed rumors that had already been floating around for a while. Some people even started throwing around the phrase, snitch T.I., which only pushed the controversy further into the spotlight. That moment clearly stuck in 50 Cent's memory, and the tension between them never fully disappeared. Then the situation turned complicated again in September 2010, when T.I. and Tiny were hit with drug charges involving possession of substances. And once again, the spotlight landed right back on the Atlanta couple. Because T.I. was already on parole at the time, the situation got serious very fast. When the news broke, Tip ended up serving 11 months after violating that parole, and the story quickly spread across the internet and media outlets. Right when everything was heating up, 50 Cent jumped online and started questioning the situation. At one point, he even asked why Tiny didn't take the charge for him. That comment instantly pushed the drama back into the spotlight and had people arguing all over social media. T.I. finally responded during a 2011 interview with Vibe, and he addressed the rumors directly.
Tell T.I. I got it the best diss song he can have right now, boy.
Tip made it clear that nobody in his family would ever be pressured into taking a charge for someone else. He also said anyone pushing that kind of idea was moving like a coward. After that moment, things slowly started cooling down between the two sides. Later in 2011, mutual friends actually connected them through a phone call. According to 50 Cent, neither one of them even asked for the call to happen. It simply came together through people they both respected in the industry. For the next several years, the situation stayed mostly quiet. The feud never fully exploded again, but it also never completely disappeared. It just sat there in the background like unfinished business. Then in July 2020, on 50 Cent's 45th birthday, T.I. suddenly brought the rivalry back to life. he publicly challenged 50 to a versus battle and told him to pull up with 20 records and face him head-on. At first, 50 laughed it off. He joked online that someone must have passed Tip the same weed Smokey had in Friday. But T.I. kept pushing the challenge everywhere he went. During an interview on Hot 97, he sold Ebro they were evenly matched and even said there was a 900-pound gorilla inside him ready for the battle. By September 2020, T.I. was still calling for a date and even mocked 50 by calling him a young baboon face. Meanwhile, 50 fired back with jokes about T.I.'s beard and even asked where his trap museum exhibit was. Behind the scenes, they actually talked about making the versus battle happen while they were both in Los Angeles doing shows, but in the end, nothing ever came together.
In 2021, 50 Cent spoke on the Morning Hustle and explained why the versus battle never happened.
I'm on the set of 50 couldn't activate. 50 Cent tried to say don't nobody activate T.I. like I did.
He said once the world started opening back up and people were going outside again, the versus format didn't feel as exciting anymore. The moment had changed and the energy around those online battles wasn't the same. But T.I. wasn't letting the idea go that easily. At the BMF premiere after party in September 2021, Tip grabbed the microphone on stage and told the crowd to start putting pressure on 50 Cent to accept the challenge. The crowd reacted loudly, but 50 simply stood there smiling and didn't respond at all. For a while, it looked like the situation might finally fade away. The tension had cooled down and both sides were focused on their own moves. But then February 2026 arrived and suddenly the drama exploded again. On February 6th, T.I. appeared on the Nightcap podcast and brought the versus battle conversation right back into the spotlight. During the interview, he claimed that 50 Cent had been avoiding the battle and didn't want that kind of challenge. Tip explained that at first he thought about doing a versus battle with Gucci Mane, but later decided that facing 50 Cent would make more sense. That statement quickly started circulating online and got people debating again. 50 didn't take long to respond. The very next day, he posted old Crime Stoppers footage, along with a clip connected to T.I.'s 2008 courtroom testimony related to the Phillip Johnson murder investigation. The post came with a strong message telling T.I. to keep his name out of the conversation. He also added the nickname King Rat, and that label instantly had social media buzzing again. People across different platforms started arguing about the history between the two artists. By February 12th, the tension climbed even higher. After 50 left another King Rat comment under a video featuring T.I. and Kevin Hart, Tip responded with serious energy. He said he had paperwork on 50 and accused him of being soft.
When I told T.I. he should have kicked that boy last year. If T.I. would have kicked that boy last year, that boy wouldn't have had to jack him up.
Tip also made it clear that he had lost respect for him, which pushed the rivalry right back into the spotlight. Then on February 22nd, T.I. appeared on $1 Million Worth of Game and decided to speak openly about the entire situation. During the conversation, Tip said the two of them had actually agreed to a versus battle while they were both performing shows in Los Angeles. But according to him, 50 later stepped away from the idea. Tip said that moment made him question 50's character completely. That same day, 50 Cent posted a rough photo of Tiny Harris on Instagram while telling T.I. once again to stop mentioning his name. T.I. quickly jumped into the comments and fired back, saying it didn't matter what picture was posted because in his view, 50 was still beneath him. The argument was now fully public again. Then the situation took an even more intense turn. King Harris, the son of T.I. and Tiny, who was now about 21 years old, suddenly stepped into the argument on Instagram while defending his mother. And that move instantly pulled a new generation right into the middle of this long-running rap rivalry. In his post, King Harris brought up 50 Cent's mother, Sabrina Jackson, who passed away in 1983 when 50 was only 8 years old. King shared a photo of a tombstone and wrote that it was where his mother was buried. In the same post, he said his own mother was a legend and demanded that 50 show respect. He also told 50 to post a picture of his own mother, reminding him that she had already passed away. The post immediately caught people's attention and quickly started spreading across social media. Over the years, reports have stated that 50 Cent's mother passed away after alleged overdose. That part of 50's life has always been deeply personal. Many fans already know that losing his mother at such a young age had a major impact on him.
He was born into a situation and circumstances and an environment that most kids dream about, mother. You wasn't born into some hard.
For decades, 50 has spoken openly about that loss and how it shaped the way he sees the world, how he handles relationships, and how he approaches life. That history is one of the most talked about personal stories connected to his journey in hip-hop. So when a 21-year-old suddenly brought that painful chapter into a public Instagram post, the situation quickly became explosive online. People across social media started debating whether the line had gone too far. That same night and into the next day, T.I. released a track called War, and the tone sounded serious. In the song, he compared the moment to a bear waking up from hibernation and a sleeping giant being pushed too far. The message was clear. Tip felt someone had crossed a line, and now the tension between both sides was heating up again. Not long after that, he followed it up with another record titled The Right One. In that track, T.I. questioned 50's legacy and asked why he didn't keep that same energy for powerful figures outside the culture, suggesting that he focused more on people within his own community.
Then another song surfaced called Lessons. The artwork showed a skeletal version of 50 Cent inspired by his role in All Things Fall Apart, and that visual added even more attention to the situation. At the same time, T.I.'s son stepped further into the spotlight alongside his father. King Harris released a track called Miss Jackson, flipping the famous Outkast sample while using artwork that showed a burning photo.
King is behaving and going on with these kind of actions and inactions and traits and characteristics.
The song came across like a direct message from the family, sending their perspective loud and clear, and making it obvious they were standing together in the middle of the controversy. King Harris didn't stop there. He also dropped a track titled Say Less, and the music video quickly grabbed attention online. In the video, he appeared wearing a shirt printed with an image connected to 50 Cent's late mother while lighting a blunt on camera. At one point during the video, King pointed toward the image while rapping about mothers being gone. That moment immediately sparked even more controversy across social media, with people debating whether the situation had crossed a serious line. Then another familiar name jumped into the conversation. Rick Ross publicly showed support for King Harris and even commented that he wanted one of those shirts. That cosign carried weight because Ross has had his own long-running rivalry with 50 Cent over the years. But instead of responding with a diss record, 50 took a completely different approach. He turned the entire situation into internet jokes and memes. At one point, he compared King Harris to Pepe the Frog, using humor to make the moment look ridiculous. He also posted a childhood photo of King with the caption, "God don't like ugly." When Tiny reposted the photo while showing support for his son, 50 fired back again. This time, he posted a picture of Tiny alongside the well-known Solange elevator gif and wrote that things were starting to look strange. Suddenly, the whole situation looked chaotic. Parents, children, and even extended family members were being mentioned in the middle of a public rap feud. Then 50 unexpectedly deleted several of his posts about the situation and wrote, "I'm out of here. You guys hurt my feelings." After that, he jokingly handed T.I. what he called the Stupid Award and stepped away from the argument online. But just when the situation already seemed messy enough, Charleston White stepped right into the middle of it with his own strong opinion. In late February 2026, White went online across several live streams and social media posts to talk about the situation involving King Harris, and his message was direct. Charleston White said the real issue was simple. In his view, T.I. should have taught his son to stay out of conflicts between older artists. According to White, King stepping into the argument looked like a young man inserting himself into a dispute between two veteran figures who had been trading words for nearly 20 years.
Delinquent, criminal-minded boy, then you open up and you and failing as a father. Tips.
White described King's actions as serious overreach. From his perspective, this was someone stepping into a long-running disagreement that didn't personally involve him. But Charleston White didn't stop at simply talking about it. He took things even further by posting a photo connected to T.I.'s late sister, mirroring the same family-focused energy that had already entered the situation. White explained his reasoning clearly. If King felt comfortable bringing up 50 Cent's deceased mother in a public post, then in his view, people shouldn't suddenly act like family members were off limits. During that conversation, he argued that the internet was showing a double standard. According to White, some people were praising King for disrespecting a deceased woman, but criticizing him for responding with similar energy involving T.I.'s family. White also pushed back against claims that he was only chasing attention. He insisted he was simply speaking his mind about what he saw happening online, not trying to gain quick views or clout. And according to Charleston White, the bigger issue always comes back to parenting. He argued that if T.I. was truly guiding his son in the right direction, the situation might have played out very differently. As the situation kept spreading online, King Harris's behavior on social media started raising bigger questions about the environment that shaped him. During the same live streams, Charleston White went even deeper with his criticism, talking about King's direction, his upbringing, and the household around him. White repeatedly referred to T.I. by names like Tipster and Clifford, clearly trying to strip away the larger-than-life image connected to T.I.'s longtime King of the South reputation. His comments were direct and designed to challenge the public image that has surrounded T.I. for years.
During those live streams, White also made another interesting claim. He said he had connections with 50 Cent and people connected to the G-Unit circle behind the scenes. According to White, he had appeared in G-Unit music before and had communicated with 50 privately in the past. Because of that history, White described himself as a natural ally for 50 Cent. In his view, this situation was exactly the kind of moment
Tell T.I. I got it the best diss song he can have right now, boy.
where someone with that connection could step into the conversation and defend him. At one point during a live stream, White made his stance very clear. He said he had been working with 50 Cent and would continue standing with him until the wheels fall off. His message made it obvious that he wasn't trying to stay neutral in the situation. Charleston White wasn't sitting on the sidelines watching the drama unfold. He was actively trying to jump right into the middle of it. During several live streams, he openly told 50 Cent to tag him in like a wrestler waiting on the ropes. With his arms stretched out toward the camera, he made it clear he was ready to step into the conflict and turn the pressure up even more. According to White, 50 had already tried to get a reaction out of T.I., but the responses weren't strong enough to keep the rivalry moving. White claimed he had exactly the type of energy needed to get under the Harris family's skin. In his words, he had the history, the attitude, and the fearlessness to say things that most people would never say publicly. And judging by how quickly his clips started spreading across the internet, people were definitely paying attention. His posts pulled in thousands of reactions, comments, and debates across social media. All of that attention started raising a bigger question for many people watching the situation unfold. Who exactly is Charleston White, and why does his voice suddenly carry so much weight in moments like this? Charleston White is a 48-year-old comedian, motivational speaker, and social media personality from Fort Worth, Texas. Charleston White's life story includes several difficult moments that shaped his outlook from a very young age. When he was only 7 years old, he lost his right eye in a serious accident. That experience became one of the earliest challenges in his life and had a lasting impact on how he viewed the world and handled obstacles later on. As a teenager, around the age of 14, White became involved in a robbery at a Foot Locker in Arlington, Texas. The situation turned tragic when someone involved in the incident unalived a store clerk. White later testified about what happened, and the case resulted in him spending time in juvenile facilities. Those early events became a major turning point in his life. After going through that period, White later said he wanted to move in a different direction and build something more positive for the future. Years later, he went on to earn a criminal justice degree from Texas Wesleyan University. He also helped co-found a non-profit organization called HYPE.
The group focuses on mentoring young people who are considered at risk and helping guide them away from the kind of path he once experienced. Today, Charleston White is widely known for a very outspoken public persona. His online presence is built around speaking bluntly and addressing topics that many others avoid. He often leans directly into criticism rather than backing away from it. Even the label snitch, which came from his testimony in the robbery case years ago, is something he openly talks about. Instead of avoiding the topic, White often flips it into part of his message and uses it to challenge certain ideas within street culture. White regularly uses that stance to question what he sees as contradictions inside the culture itself. In his view, some people support cooperation with authorities when it benefits them, but strongly criticize it when the circumstances change. He argues that the reaction often depends on who is speaking and how much influence they have online. That argument has become a big part of the message he pushes during interviews and live stream discussions. At the same time, White's own history has brought plenty of controversy over the years. He has faced legal issues in the past, including charges related to aggravated assault and animal cruelty. White has said those situations were misunderstandings, false claims, or moments where he was defending himself. Still, those cases added another complicated layer to a public persona that many people already see as controversial. Then, in September 2025, another moment pushed him back into headlines. White appeared at Tougaloo College during a debate event that quickly became tense. During the discussion, he made comments about HBCUs, questioned how racism is discussed in certain spaces, and criticized the financial struggles many students face. The reaction from the crowd was immediate. The atmosphere became so heated that the situation escalated quickly, and White ended up leaving the campus early while the event was still unfolding. The moment spread across social media and added yet another chapter to his already headline-grabbing public image.
Charleston White's friction with the Harris family didn't suddenly begin in 2026. According to White, the tension between him and T.I. goes back several years. He has spoken about past diss records connected to T.I. and even claimed there was once a moment where T.I. attempted to confront him in person. T.I. has also publicly referred to White as a parasite, which only added more heat to their ongoing rivalry. Over time, the back and forth between them created a situation where both sides were already familiar with each other's criticism. White has also addressed previous moments involving King Harris. When King reportedly made threats toward him in the past, White responded with very direct warnings of his own. His responses made it clear where he stood and that he was not planning to stay quiet about the situation. Because of that history, White says the drama in 2026 wasn't a brand new feud at all. In his view, it was simply an old conflict suddenly getting fresh attention online. White also pointed back to another moment involving King Harris in November 2023 at an Atlanta Falcons game. That viral incident showed King getting into a heated confrontation, and the footage quickly spread across social media. From White's perspective, King's comments in 2026 weren't just a random outburst. He argued that it looked more like a pattern of behavior that had been building over time. According to White, he believes T.I. didn't step in strongly enough to correct some of those moments earlier. In his opinion, that allowed the situation to grow until King eventually challenged someone like 50 Cent, a figure known for not being easily shaken by fame, reputation, or public pressure. King Harris didn't suddenly enter controversy when the situation with 50 Cent exploded in February 2026. By that point, the 21-year-old had already experienced several public moments that kept his name circulating online. One of the earliest viral moments happened in May 2022. At the time, King was 17 years old and went live on Instagram while inside an Atlanta area Waffle House. The situation reportedly started over something simple: pickles on his order. When employees attempted to enforce the restaurant's no profanity policy after he complained, the disagreement quickly escalated. In the video, King climbed onto the counter, leaned toward a worker, and made heated remarks during the argument before eventually leaving with the corrected order. The clips spread rapidly online and followed him for years afterward.
T.I. later addressed the situation during his own Instagram Live. He explained that he and several of King's uncles had spoken with him about the incident and were surprised by how quickly things had escalated. Tip advised his son to focus on enjoying life and avoid getting pulled into situations that weren't worth the trouble. At the time, he encouraged him to stay focused and make better choices moving forward. Looking back now, some observers feel that advice may not have fully stuck. Just a few months later, in August 2022, King reportedly ran into legal trouble in Pickens County. Authorities charged him with speeding, driving on a suspended license, and DUI. When he missed a scheduled court appearance, a bench warrant was issued. That warrant remained active until October 2024, when police in Dunwoody stopped King's BMW after it reportedly nearly struck a patrol car while leaving a gas station. According to reports, officers said they noticed a strong smell of marijuana and also observed that King had a holstered firearm on his hip. King Harris was taken into custody and booked into DeKalb County Jail due to the earlier warrant connected to the missed court appearance. However, the situation moved quickly. The warrant was later recalled and he was released the following day. Another moment that many people now point to happened in November 2023 during an Atlanta Falcons game. King was live streaming from a private suite inside the stadium when a tense conversation started between him and his parents about how he was raised. What began as a discussion quickly turned emotional and very public. King pushed back against the idea that he grew up with a silver spoon, arguing that much of his childhood was spent at his grandmother's home and that life wasn't as comfortable as people assumed. T.I. challenged that claim during the exchange and asked him directly whether he had ever woken up with a roach on his face, pointing out the difference between their childhood experiences. That moment immediately caught attention online.
The clip spread rapidly across social media and gave millions of people a rare look at the complicated family dynamics inside the Harris household. Later on, Tiny Harris explained the situation from a completely different perspective. According to her, King wasn't staying with his grandmother because life was harder. Instead, she said he chose to spend time there because he had more freedom and could get away with things he might not be able to do at home. During that heated Falcons live stream, the argument between King and his parents continued to escalate. At one point, the tension turned physical when T.I. briefly pulled King into a headlock while telling him he was embarrassing himself in front of the family. Because the live stream was still running, the moment was captured on video. Within hours, the footage was circulating across the internet and being discussed everywhere online. After the clip went viral, King's brother Damani stepped in publicly and tried to calm the situation down. He described the moment as a misunderstanding and encouraged people watching to stay calm, saying, "Just relax, this too shall pass." Around the same time, T.I. posted messages emphasizing family unity and suggesting that things were being handled privately within the family. But by that point, the internet had already formed strong opinions about what they saw. As the video kept spreading, it also triggered a wave of speculation. Some people online even started spreading rumors questioning whether T.I. was King's biological father. Tiny quickly shut those claims down. She called the rumor the biggest bull ever and made it clear there was absolutely no truth behind it. Charleston White had been watching all of these moments unfold in real time, and he formed his own opinion early on. In his view, the situation suggested that King needed stronger discipline rather than encouragement from online audiences. White's commentary about the Falcons incident had several layers. On one hand, he acknowledged that King might have been expressing real frustration during the argument with his parents. On the other hand, White said he believed there was also a sense of entitlement developing beneath the anger. During one of his videos, he spoke directly toward King while explaining his perspective. White pointed out that King was born into opportunities that many young people from difficult neighborhoods could only dream about. According to White, King was not growing up in survival conditions like many young people in difficult neighborhoods. Instead, he believed King had been raised in a comfortable environment, and the attitude he sometimes showed online looked more like entitlement than standing on principle.
King also found himself in another small online dispute back in 2024 with comedian Drewski over the phrase "standing on business." King claimed he helped popularize the phrase after the Falcons incident and wasn't happy when Drewski used it in a comedy skit. The situation briefly turned tense online. King even said he would pull up on the comedian, turning what started as a simple argument over a catchphrase into something that caught attention across social media. However, the situation never exploded the way people expected. The two eventually crossed paths during the Quavo Huncho Day event. Later, Drewski confirmed that King actually did show up and that the issue was handled face-to-face without things going any further. In the end, the moment passed without major drama and both sides moved on. Still, King Harris continued appearing in viral conversations online. In January 2025, he drew attention again after speaking openly on social media about his relationship with the mother of his son, Janiyah, and his partner, Nana Epps. During the conversation, King explained that their relationship was open. He said his partner was already aware that he spent time with other women and told viewers not to try exposing him for something he claimed she already knew about and accepted. The internet reacted exactly the way you might expect. Some people said they respected the honesty and felt he was being upfront rather than hiding things. Others criticized the moment, saying it looked like unnecessary oversharing from a young father who seemed comfortable putting very personal matters on the internet. Then a much more serious situation surfaced in July 2025. Longtime accuser Sabrina Pedersen once again brought forward allegations involving T.I., Tiny, and King Harris. Pedersen accused the family of trafficking and exploitation and claimed she had evidence to support the accusations. She also referenced text messages that she said were sent from King to a young woman she described as a victim.
The Harris family strongly denied the allegations. They described Pedersen's claims as part of a personal dispute that had been ongoing since 2021 and called the accusations false attacks on their reputation. It is important to note that no criminal charges have ever been filed related to those claims. Legal disputes between the two sides have taken place in civil court. At one point, the Harris family pursued a defamation case. In one ruling connected to the dispute, Pedersen was ordered to pay roughly $97,000 after certain claims were dismissed by the court. Even with all of those developments, the accusations themselves have never been proven in court. Still, the stories and controversies surrounding the situation continue to circulate online. All of that background helps explain the reputation King Harris carried into February 2026. By that time, many people already viewed him as passionate, quick to react, extremely loyal to his family, and someone willing to push situations further than most people expected. At the same time, the clash involving T.I., King Harris, and Charleston White was only one part of a much bigger picture surrounding 50 Cent. Throughout 2025 and heading into early 2026, 50 had been involved in several public feuds at the same time. What made it even more interesting was the way he handled those conflicts. Instead of relying on traditional hip-hop diss records, 50 often used a completely different strategy. He leaned heavily on memes, old video clips, sarcastic captions, and constant Instagram posts to keep pressure on his rivals. Over time, that approach became his signature move. Social media turned into his battlefield, where jokes, screenshots, and quick posts could sometimes hit just as hard as music. Another major conflict developing around 50 during that period involved Big Meech. This situation felt deeper than a typical rap rivalry because it mixed loyalty, business, and long-standing personal relationships all at once. 50 Cent had actually helped bring the BMF story to television by serving as an executive producer for the Starz series BMF. The show starred Big Meech's son, Lil Meech, and focused on the rise of the Black Mafia family. The series became a huge success and played a big role in bringing the BMF story to a new generation of viewers. However,
things started to shift after Big Meech himself was released from prison in early 2025. He had served about 18 years of a 30-year sentence before returning home. When Meech celebrated his release with a February 13th Welcome Home concert connected to Rick Ross, many people noticed the moment right away, and for some observers, that event seemed to trigger tension with 50 Cent. Soon afterward, 50 began posting a series of memes online that hinted at betrayal. He shared images of rats, old booking photos, and captions referencing Tammy Cowens, a former BMF associate who had reportedly cooperated with federal investigators years earlier. In several posts, 50 even tagged Big Meech directly while using phrases like "slick rat." Those comments instantly set social media on fire and sparked intense debates among fans. The situation grew even louder when 50 made claims involving Lil Meech. He suggested that the young actor had struggled with substance issues during filming of the BMF series and needed time in rehab. Those comments only pushed the tension further into the spotlight. Big Meech didn't respond with direct insults, but he did post messages repeating the phrase, "death before dishonor." That slogan has long been connected to the image and mythology surrounding the BMF organization. Because of that history, many people interpreted the message as a subtle response to everything that was being said online. The situation continued simmering through April 2025 and beyond. It never fully exploded into a direct confrontation, but it also never cooled down enough for anyone to forget about it. Rick Ross also stepped into the conversation several times, adding even more layers to the drama. His rivalry with 50 Cent stretches all the way back to around 2009. According to Tony Yayo, the original spark behind that feud came from something surprisingly small, a handshake that never happened during an industry event. Reports say the tension between Rick Ross and 50 Cent may have started with something surprisingly small. At one industry event years ago, 50 reportedly didn't greet Ross with the usual handshake. In many parts of Southern culture, that kind of acknowledgement carries real meaning.
Ross reportedly took the lack of a greeting as intentional disrespect. What looked like a minor moment slowly grew into a long-running feud that stretched across more than a decade. By August 2025, Ross was still throwing verbal shots. In one poolside video, he mocked 50 Cent's early deal with Interscope Records and called the contract horrendous. Ross questioned why no one around 50 tried to renegotiate the deal after his debut album went diamond. He suggested that the business side of the music industry may have taken advantage of the situation, which quickly sparked debate among fans online. Ross also became connected to the Big Meech situation by supporting the Welcome Home concert after Meech's release. That appearance placed him right in the middle of another ongoing tension involving 50 Cent. At the same time, Ross quietly inserted himself into the situation involving T.I. and King Harris as well. When King wore the controversial shirt referencing 50 Cent's late mother, Ross jumped into the comments and publicly supported it. He even joked about wanting one of the shirts in the 3X size. That comment didn't feel random to many observers. Instead, it looked like a signal that Ross was ready to step back into the long-standing feud with 50 Cent. Then another situation surfaced involving Jim Jones, which showed 50 Cent's unique strategy for handling conflicts. Instead of responding through music, 50 leaned into something very different. He used surveillance footage and paperwork. In February 2025, 50 posted old security camera footage that appeared to show Jim Jones, along with Mano, Fabulous, and Dave East, outside a podcast studio in the Bronx. According to reports connected to the situation, the group appeared to be attempting to open a locked door after the building's power and lights had reportedly been shut off due to unpaid rent. The video itself was grainy and awkward, but once it started spreading online, it quickly became embarrassing for everyone involved. But 50 didn't stop there.
Soon after posting the footage, he followed it with another post showing eviction paperwork connected to the property. The document was addressed directly to Joseph Jones, Jim Jones's real name. No stage name, no nickname, just the government name printed clearly on the document for everyone to see. He added a caption asking if Jones wanted to be friends and jokingly suggested they should make a rap song about the situation. Behind the humor, there was also a serious claim. According to 50 Cent, the studio space allegedly owed somewhere between $80,000 and $180,000 through his building management company, IFC Management. Instead of trading diss tracks, the entire feud unfolded through property documents, eviction notices, and screenshots posted online. And somehow, that approach hit even harder on the internet. In hip-hop culture, losing a rap battle is one thing, but getting exposed through rent disputes and legal paperwork felt like a completely different kind of embarrassment. As some fans joked online, getting signed by your own landlord is a loss that no amount of bars can fix. Then, there was another conflict much closer to home for 50 Cent, the ongoing tension with his son, Marquise Jackson. Their estranged relationship has become one of the most public and painful family situations connected to hip-hop culture. Over the years, the distance between them has played out in front of millions of people online. Instead of staying private, many of their disagreements have unfolded through social media posts, interviews, and public reactions. During Father's Day in 2025, Marquise posted several messages online that many people believed were aimed directly at his father. The posts were subtle but clearly pointed. Some of them mocked the idea of 50 Cent as a devoted family man and questioned whether his public image matched his private life. Through 2025 and into early 2026, the distance between them still appeared unresolved. That ongoing situation added another complicated layer to everything happening around 50 at the time. At different moments, Marquise was also seen spending time around people connected to some of 50's rivals. In one instance, he was photographed with Lil Meech and others who were associated with Big Meech's circle. Moments like that quickly fueled more conversations online. For critics of 50, those images became another angle to bring up during arguments about loyalty and family relationships. Their rocky relationship had already produced several viral moments long before this. One of the most talked about happened in 2022 when 50 Cent posted a comment online saying he would pay $6,700 for 24 hours of quality time with Marquise. Some people saw the post as a sarcastic jab. Others believed it might have been an awkward attempt to open the door for reconciliation. Depending on which side of the family conflict someone believed, the message could be interpreted in completely different ways. Because of that history, when King Harris brought up 50 Cent's late mother during the feud, many people online immediately pointed out the irony. Here was a man publicly estranged from his own son, suddenly being pulled into a heated argument about family loyalty and respect for parents. The internet quickly noticed that contradiction and turned it into another major talking point in the drama. Looking across all of these situations, Big Meech, Rick Ross, Jim Jones, and even the tension with his son Marquise, one clear pattern keeps appearing in how 50 Cent handles conflict. His response rarely comes through music anymore. Instead, it shows up through content. Memes, screenshots, old clips, paperwork, edited images, and carefully timed social media posts have become his main tools. Sometimes, he even deletes posts after they spread everywhere online. That move often keeps people talking even longer because screenshots of the original post continue circulating. While other artists head into the studio to record diss tracks, 50 often responds with a single Instagram post that dominates the conversation for days. It's a strategy that many observers say looks almost calculated. His rivals may spend hours writing bars and recording songs. Meanwhile, 50 opens his phone, posts something sharp or sarcastic, and suddenly the internet is talking about that one post instead of the music. Over time, he turned internet trolling into a powerful media weapon. At this stage, some people even argue that he doesn't need traditional rap battles anymore. For 50 Cent, the phone does the talking, and the internet becomes the battlefield where everything plays out. That's the environment that T.I. and King Harris situation stepped into. By the time T.I. revived the versus debate, and King jumped into the argument, 50 Cent was already dealing with several public conflicts at once. His response to King, the memes, the Pepe comparisons, the edited childhood photos, and even the calculated silence afterward, followed the exact same formula he had used against others. From 50's perspective, many observers believe King simply became another name added to the list. Not necessarily a major threat, but another situation handled through posts, captions, and timing. Meanwhile, the internet exploded with reactions. Fans quickly picked sides, almost like a courtroom where many people had already decided the verdict before hearing every detail. Memes flooded timelines across social media. Jokes spread everywhere, and commentary videos began appearing non-stop, moving faster than any diss track ever could. The internet followed every twist in the drama with intense attention. Fans tracked every post, every meme, and even every deleted message, like reporters covering a breaking story. And one debate kept showing up again and again. Where exactly is the line between defending your mother and disrespecting someone else's deceased family member? That question became one of the biggest arguments driving the entire conversation online. Reactions online quickly split almost straight down the middle. Once the debate started, both sides locked into their positions, and no amount of arguing seemed strong enough to change anyone's mind. Posts on X discussing King Harris's rant pulled massive engagement. Some clips gathered tens of thousands of interactions, with supporters saying King showed real loyalty by standing up for his mother. In their view, he displayed more heart defending his family than many artists ever show in their music. To those fans, the moment looked like a son refusing to let anyone disrespect his mother. But the criticism arrived just as fast and just as strong. Many people argued that bringing up someone's late mother crossed an unwritten rule that has existed in hip-hop culture for years. For them, mentioning a grave went far beyond normal trash talk. They felt it crossed a line of respect that most rap feuds traditionally avoid. Over on Reddit, the conversation became even more layered. Instead of one main argument, several different debates started happening at the same time. Some users argued that 50 Cent had actually taken losses in several of his rap feuds, except for his well-known battle with Ja Rule. They claimed his dominance during that era was strongly supported by powerful allies like Eminem and Dr. Dre.
According to those commenters, 50's reputation had continued partly because of smart strategy, strong branding, and his ability to control the narrative online. Others shifted the conversation toward 50's strained relationship with his son, Marquise. They argued that someone who had spent years publicly criticizing his own child could not easily claim the moral high ground when it came to discussions about family loyalty. Charleston White's involvement sparked another heated debate all on its own. Supporters of White said he was simply being consistent with his message. They pointed out that he has long argued that bringing deceased relatives into an argument crosses a serious line. But critics saw something very different. They accused White of selective outrage and claimed he was using the situation to attract attention. Some people also pointed out that White had criticized Tiny Harris for years without receiving the same level of backlash from audiences who were now supporting his moral stance. Then, Rick Ross stepping in added another explosive layer. When Ross publicly supported King Harris and even asked for that controversial shirt with 50 Cent's late mother printed on it, the internet immediately erupted with even more arguments. For some fans, it looked like Ross standing in solidarity with King. For others, it felt like another deliberate move in a long-running rivalry with 50 Cent that was suddenly heating up again. Some fans called Rick Ross's move real loyalty. In their view, Ross was simply standing beside someone who was defending his family and showing support in the middle of a heated moment. Others saw something completely different. They argued it looked more like opportunism from a longtime rival who had spent more than a decade trading shots with 50 Cent and was ready to support anything that might embarrass him. That moment also pushed the culture to face a bigger question. Was that controversial shirt featuring the image of a deceased woman and worn in a diss video by the son of her son's rival a shocking new low in rap beef? Or was it simply the extreme result of a genre that has often turned personal pain, rivalry, and emotion into entertainment? While the internet argued non-stop,
T.I. appeared to be quietly turning the chaos into momentum for his music. Every headline, every viral clip, and every online debate pushed more attention toward his upcoming project, Kill the King. T.I. described the album as his final project, and he handled the moment like a seasoned veteran who has been navigating the music business for more than 25 years. He clearly understands how controversy can sometimes turn into marketing and how public drama can translate into streams and attention. The album's lead single, Let 'Em Know, produced by Pharrell Williams and paired with a flashy video directed by Hype Williams, dropped right in the middle of the drama. The timing couldn't have been better. The track climbed the Billboard Hot 100 and reached around number 43, marking T.I.'s highest solo chart placement in more than a decade. The video added even more energy to the rollout. It featured luxury cars moving through scenes in Atlanta and Miami, creating a bold visual style that matched the track's confident tone. Pharrell also made a quick cameo appearance in the video, adding major production credibility. Meanwhile, Young Dro's ad-libs helped connect the moment back to the classic Grand Hustle sound that longtime fans immediately recognized. The entire presentation blended two different eras of T.I. It showed the newer version of the artist while still reminding fans of the confident, competitive rapper who first built his reputation years earlier. Then, at the 2026 Grammy Awards, T.I. confirmed what many people had already been speculating. He announced that Kill the King would mark the closing chapter of his recording career. After more than a decade in the industry, he described the project as a final statement, a farewell album designed to wrap up a 25-year run in hip-hop. And in many ways, the ongoing feud helped fuel that moment. The controversy kept his name trending across social media and pushed the conversation around his music back into the spotlight. The arguments kept people watching, and the drama around the feud pumped new life into the music release. At the same time, the music gave that drama structure and direction. Soon, the whole situation started to look almost perfectly synchronized. The controversy fed the songs, and the songs kept the controversy alive. Whether it was planned or not, the timing was incredibly effective. Every move seemed to land at the exact moment the conversation was heating up again. Nothing about the rollout felt random. T.I. dropped War the same night King Harris's rant exploded across the internet. The track carried the energy of someone who felt pushed into a corner, with bars comparing the moment to waking up a hibernating bear that should have been left alone. Then the next move came quickly. The right one arrived the following day. This time, the lyrics questioned why 50 Cent always seemed ready to challenge people inside his own culture while appearing less confrontational in other situations. The track instantly gave fans another angle to debate. Within that same week, lessons followed. The song came with the now widely shared artwork showing a skeletal version of 50 Cent inspired by his dramatic weight loss role in All Things Fall Apart. Each new release kept the conversation boiling online. The discussion never had time to cool down. Soon after that, more snippets connected to the Kill the King rollout began appearing online. Every clip seemed to drop right when a new headline was trending. At times, it almost felt like the drama itself had become part of the marketing strategy. Every blog post looked like a billboard, and every comment section turned into a live focus group where fans debated every detail. Inside the Harris household, the response kept growing. Damani and King Harris both released their own tracks within days of each other, adding even more voices to the situation. Even T.I.'s son, Messiah, joined the mix, criticizing 50 Cent's long history of targeting smaller names while avoiding opponents who might push back just as strongly. At that point, the family had practically turned the moment into a non-stop content machine running around the clock. Some industry observers, including DJ Academics, even compared the situation to the cultural buzz surrounding Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, but that comparison also highlighted how different this battle actually was. Drake and Kendrick traded direct lyrical responses back and forth. Here, T.I. and his sons released track after track, while 50 Cent never responded with a single diss record. The music side of the feud began to look almost one-sided, depending on how you viewed it. That raised two very different interpretations. Either T.I. was dominating the scoreboard with music, or 50 Cent had mastered an entirely different strategy, controlling the entire conversation without ever stepping into the booth. And honestly, that might be the biggest question left hanging over this entire saga. What actually counts as winning in a rap feud today? If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who follows hip-hop drama. Drop your thoughts in the comments too. Who do you think really won this situation? T.I. and his camp, or 50 Cent with the internet strategy? Let's talk about it.